I guess I should put my shirt on then,
Good evening, and welcome to the show. This is Let's Just Talk with Kim, and of course, I am Kim. And tonight, as always, I have a fabulous show for you tonight, a very interesting show tonight, a very unique show tonight, and I am so excited about it. I got my girlfriend Leah in the place today. She is from Philly, girl.
huh?
Handcrafted wines. I couldn't remember it because y'all know how my memory is, so don't be atting me. Y'all know I don't be remembering stuff. That's right. So I have her here, and she has such an interesting show. And I want her just to start off by telling us a little bit about her.
Hi guys, I am Leah from Philly Girl Handcrafted Wines at Philly Girl Handcrafted Wines on YouTube. I began this show to teach people how to make country style wines at home. I used to have the goal to create wines in my own winery, but for health reasons, I had to kind of, changed plans and decided to start teaching people how to make wines. So I brought 6 different wines here for the ladies to try. We're going to discuss the types of wines that we have, how wine is made at home, and answer any questions that they may have about the process.
Hey, that's a bright. And I want you to tell the people, how did you get into this?
Actually, it was by mistake. My mother-in-law had this massive apple tree in her backyard, and every year it produced all these apples. It was just so many apples, and we ran out of things to do. I mean, how many apple cobblers, apple pies, applesauce can you make? So I had this great idea to take some of the apples home with me and try my hand at making wine. And I made a spiced apple wine, but it was horrible. But it was my first time trying. I mean, I took 5 gallons and I bought this book online and I bought this wine kit and I did everything they said do and it came out awful. But what I realized is I had wine. I may not have been delicious wine. I had 5 gallons of stuff nobody wanted to touch. But I did turn fruit and sugar and spices into wine.
Wow.
So over the years, it's been about 16 years now, I learned how to perfect that process. How to make better wines, and I tried new recipes, and it's gotten to be not just a great hobby; it's a passion of mine now.
Okay, awesome. That is interesting because you would never, at least for me, when you think of wine, you always think of grapes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. Fermented grapes, right? Is that what it is? Right. So you never really think of anything else. Don't think of necessarily fruit other than the sweetness in the wine that is made. And I know that, I think you told me also that country wine is made of flowers and other things as well, right?
Exactly. Actually, all over the world, country wines are still made. The reason why grapes became the mainstream process is because grapes have yeast on them naturally. So there's not a whole lot to add. You can crush grapes and make wine. But I never make wine from grapes. You can make grapes from fruits, vegetables, roots, grains, flowers, anything you can think of. As a matter of fact, I just did a rose petal wine that's coming out really, really nice.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting. I would never think of rose petals to drink. Well, I'm so excited to have you here. How long have you been doing this?
About 16 years now.
Wow.
It took, I would say, the first 8 years was my cutting my tooth period, where I kind of had to try some things and figure things out. But as the internet became more and more popular and you could Google just about anything, you can basically get an education on anything at this time. So I taught myself so much. And after a while, people started asking me how to do certain things, or more than likely they'd be asking me to bring wine. Because, can you bring some wine?
Like we have here tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. So what is it that you want to share with us tonight?
Tonight we're trying 6 different flavors. We're trying lemon wine. And even though these are fruit wines, they still have the same categories as whites, rosés, reds, deep reds. So this will be considered a white wine. I also have a ginger wine. This is one of my favorites. Not everybody loves ginger, but if you like ginger beer or ginger ale, you would enjoy a ginger wine. This was a new concoction. I'm always trying something new. So on my show, I tried this, and it's called carrot cake wine. It's a pineapple carrot wine, and I like it. You guys are going to tell me whether or not this was a hit or a miss. This is also a new wine that I've been making for a while now. It's a raspberry lime melomel. Melomel is a mead. A mead is a honey wine. So this is raspberry lime honey wine. We also have, sounds good. We also have, this is a wine I've been making for years and years and years. And this is red apple hibiscus. This particular batch was also aged on oak, so it has a little bit more of a brandy taste to it.
Right.
And the last one is a brand new recipe. This one is chocolate cherry wine. I made this wine on my Valentine's Day episode, and I'd never tried it before, and I couldn't find a recipe for it, so I didn't know whether I was doing something great or if I was wasting a lot of time. And it turned out to be an amazing wine. You guys will get a chance
it's really
to taste
dark.
It. So this would be considered a deep red, like a Merlot. So it's a very, very deep red wine. And what's great about making wine from home is if you love sweet wine, all your wines are going to be sweet. No matter what you use as your substrate or your ingredients to make your wine, it's going to be exactly what you like, as opposed to having to shop around the aisles to figure out whether or not their formula or their recipe is something that would appeal to you. If you love dry wines or you have to watch your sugar, you can add something like a sugar substitute to your wine, and you can continue to drink the wine and enjoy it as well. So it gives you a lot of flexibility, and it's really a great hobby. You'll always think of something different to try.
Okay. Now, I am not a wine girl at all. Like, I know nothing. You said a lot. Dry, Merlot. You said a whole bunch of stuff,
Right.
which I know nothing about. I'm just like, okay. The only thing that excited me was the raspberry honey. I was like, that sounds delicious. Okay, but I don't know anything else. I do know white wine, and that's because white wine is clear. And I know red wine because a lot of times red wine is red. So I'm the newbie. I'm the one that knows nothing. We just went to a wine tasting up in Jersey, and my niece and our server, they both had to really like break it down to elementary. Because I was like, I don't know what you just said. Now, what you say, dark does what now? It feels dry. It does what? Like, I was so out of place, but I've learned a lot. So, but before we go into the wines any further, I want to talk about your podcast, though, your show.
Yeah. Philly Girl Handcrafted Wines. We planned it September of last year, but you know how that goes. You actually do some sample shows and they are flops. So you get to the point where you're comfortable with actually creating a show format. So we started airing in February, and the show is growing. We currently have about 26 episodes, and it's growing. I'm starting to get a base. I'm going to be taking some of my wines down to an event in South Carolina so they get a chance to taste the wines as well. And I'm kind of getting some comments from people in different countries. I have people in Saudi Arabia who made comments because really homemade wine is something that's international, is worldwide. And country wines really came from whatever you as a farmer grew, your family had as access to make food, preserves, whatever they needed for that family. Well, when there's a lot left over, why not make wine?
Right.
So even in our country, people are still, if they have extra strawberries in their strawberry patch, they're going to make strawberry wine. Whatever you have, you're going to be able to make some wine out of it.
Wow, that's interesting. And it's not just us, so don't think all these bottles are just for us. We have some people here that's off camera, but you will hear their voices. Okay, so I don't know if you want to say your names or how you want to introduce yourself. You won't see them because they're a little camera shy, but except my niecey Pooh. I can always count on her. Y'all know her. She even was so much that she had to even put her traditional hello to let y'all know she in the place. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you seen that. Okay, I can always count on my girl. My ride or die is up in the place. But anyone else want to say? Well, we got a Lady T here. I'm just want to say that. No one knows who she is.
To my right.
Yes. And we have off to the far corner, like all the way over, we have Lady Mick. Okay, I'll just call her that. Okay, because they want to be undercover. I'm the only one out. You know, me and Sharita, we gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do this. You know, so I'm excited. They're excited too. You don't see them, but they're excited. Hey, they wouldn't even be here if they weren't. You know what I'm saying? So let's just note that they are in the building. So go ahead.
Well, we're gonna try some wines. You ready to try some, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to look together for 4 different qualities, and there's a 5th quality that we'll be looking for. We'll be looking for the bouquet, which is how it smells. So when we say this is lemon wine, do you smell lemon?
Mm-hmm.
And what does it smell like? Candy lemon? Does it smell like fresh lemon? You're going to look at those qualities. We're going to look at the body. The body is whether or not it's thin or thick on your tongue. So if it has a little bit more viscosity, that's a full-bodied wine. If it's a thin, it's a light wine.
Mm.
We'll be looking at that. We'll also be looking at the taste of the wine, whether or not it's a pleasing taste. Now, these are all new wines, so they would be great if they age for over a year, but you'll get a chance to be able to experience exactly what the wine would taste like. So we've done the aroma, the body, the taste. You're also going to be looking for the alcohol level of them. All of the wines that I created are 12% alcohol by volume wines, except 2 of them. 2 of them are 14 going towards 15%, and that's going to be our red apple hibiscus as well as our chocolate cherry. So you'll experience more wine with that. The other thing that we'll look for, the 5th thing that we'll look for is in white wines, we'll look for acidity because white wines should have some level of acidity to them. In the darker wines, we're going to look for what's called tannin. Tannin is that back of the mouth feel, that astringent feel that you get when you drink wine. We're going to look and see if it has good levels of that. And it's all subject to what you experience with the wine. So if you love it, you love it. If you hate it, that's good information for me. It's good information for anybody who would make wine at home. They know that they have to make some changes with it. So I'm going to pass some glasses out. We're going to start with the lemon, and I'm going to start with a little bit just for the tasting.
Yes.
And then you can have a ball after that, okay? This is a lemon wine. And the ingredients of the lemon wine is basically lemon, sugar, yeast, and what I call my usual players. My usual players are the additives that we use to give our wine good quality. We use acid blend to give it proper acid balance. We use something that's called yeast nutrient, which feeds the yeast because you get wine from yeast eating the sugars in your must. Yeast energizer, which is like a Red Bull, it gives them some energy. So it makes them kind of pop off. And I use tannin because, of course, wine should have tannin in it. And the final thing I use is pectic enzyme. Pectic enzyme breaks down the fruit walls in your fruit. That's it? Is that right?
I'll just say Lady K was not able to make it tonight.
That's okay. So the pectic enzyme breaks down the walls in your fruit so that your yeast have access to them and you get more fruit flavor and more sugars from your wine. And it actually helps to increase more alcohol in your wine. So the first thing we're going to do is swirl it around. If you look at your glass, one of the things that will give you an indication of whether or not you have body is you'll see little rivulets on the glass. It wouldn't be the same as water. Water would just fall down.
Right.
Oh,
When
okay.
you swirl it here,
Yeah.
it's going to take some time to come down. That's an indication of body. Then we want to smell it. So you want to put your whole nose in your wine. Now you guys tell me what you smell. Like, are you picking up lemon?
I don't smell the lemon, but I'm not good at
You said
scents.
zesty?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
And there is lemon zest in it too. So there's
Okay.
fresh
That's
lemon
not
and lemon
smell
zest as well. So that's the main quality that you're picking up. So now we can taste it. How does it feel against your tongue? It's a little strong, right?
Just as happy strong for me.
light.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's
like
real
for
light.
you.
Yeah, I think
Like I
real
said,
light.
it's subjective. So for everybody, it's a different experience when they drink the wine.
And it's different levels of drinkers. I'm the lower level.
Cheers.
might be
They're
high.
cheersing.
Very high.
Now, those other two qualities that I was talking about, the acid, do you experience the acid that a white wine should have?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said.
Mhm.
So if you didn't experience the acid, that would be considered a flat wine, which means that we'd have to do some things on the back end to kind of boost the acidity of the wine to make it taste balanced. And do you taste any tannin?
Yeah,
That back
right
end
here I
mouthfeel?
did.
Right
And
here.
it tastes like
No,
a,
I feel it right here.
it tastes like a candy to me, like a lemon drop candy.
That's what you get
That's
from it.
what I
Yeah,
taste.
yeah. Now, what's interesting about wine too is what it tastes like today is not going to be what it tastes like next year.
Yeah.
As wine ages, it develops and it takes on new characteristics
Right.
and new flavors. So this is a new wine, and it kind of does taste like lemonade. It's like a lemonade
Yeah.
candy.
So question, so with the aging process, does it have to stay closed in order for it to age properly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you're fermenting your wine, oxygen is your friend. And
Okay.
and we can go over, while we're talking, like exactly what the components are of your wine must when you're first starting it out. But once your wine has finished the fermentation process, you have to keep it away from oxygen to keep it healthy, because it would oxidize if you don't. It would take on metallic tastes or funky tastes that aren't pleasant.
Okay. So now that I know what to expect, it didn't hit as hard with the next. Because I think what I did was I let it go straight back.
Mhm.
So it hit the back of my throat,
Mm-hmm.
which gave me that strong kick.
The ooey.
Yeah. I was like, call 911.
I usually let it sit on my tongue.
Yeah,
Like,
Before you
let it
let it go down.
yeah.
I
that's
tried
exactly
that, but
what
it
you
didn't
do.
It's
work
like you gotta
the
cuff
first
the
time.
tongue. That's what I do.
Right.
I cuff my tongue.
So I did that the second time. So
Take
They
it
wait
down.
on you.
Right.
sorry,
Yeah.
I'm
everyone.
going to actually start passing around the second bottle because everybody can pour a little bit for themselves. I'll pour yours. This is the carrot cake wine. No, this is not carrot cake wine. This is ginger wine.
Ginger.
I tried
Shoulda
to
had
color
some
code it so I wouldn't
cheese.
forget.
Oh, I
Yeah,
gotta pick some cheese. Yeah.
And you
Yeah, I
can give
didn't
yourself
even
as much
think
as
of
you
it.
want to taste, because you still have 4 more to taste.
I was saying I should have brought some cheese because they said that that helps clean the
Your
palate.
palate, it does. Yeah. Fruit,
Completely
cheese,
forgot.
and cured meats like salamis and things like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
That
yeah,
helps
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Olives, anything like
What's
that.
the board? The
Charcuterie.
charcuterie
So
Charcuterie
anything
board.
you would find on a charcuterie board is what you would use to try it. Now, if this is too much for you and it's not your favorite, feel free to pour it out. I will not be offended. So we're going to do the same thing with this. We're going to swirl it in our glass. And do we see the wine clinging to the glass?
Yes.
Okay. And it takes its time going down. That means it does have some body. And when you smell it, are you smelling ginger?
No, this is the cupcake. I mean,
No,
the carrot cake.
this is
the
ginger.
ginger?
Mhm.
It
This
smells
is
like a ginger ale soda.
Yeah,
smell like ginger
yeah,
soda.
smell like that.
What's interesting about ginger wine is it doesn't smell exactly like ginger.
I smell orange.
And then there's no orange in it.
Okay.
So that's what's interesting about the substrates or the ingredients that you use. They take on qualities of other things. For instance, I make a tea wine. Tea wine actually tastes like a fruity wine when you're done. Ooh, I said I was going to turn my phone down. didn't I? Let's do that now. But tea wine actually tastes like a fruity wine when it's done and there's no fruit in it. Okay, so let's taste it. Oh, you guys started without me.
No, they did.
I like this
Kind of
one.
nutty.
You taste nutty?
That's what I'm tasting. With this
Yeah.
one.
I taste it too.
You
I
do?
taste nuttiness too.
It tastes like a beerish, like
Yeah.
barley
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
It does have that too.
I just
Wow.
said
Wow. But you get
this is a holiday drink to me.
I'm not
Yes.
sure.
Like
Oh, spice.
yeah,
and it's gonna make you warm.
Yeah.
yeah, like a
Make it a little
gingerbread.
warm.
Yes.
cookie.
Yes, okay. Yeah, give me some examples. I can relate.
Okay, like a gingerbread cookie.
Now the ingredients in the ginger wine is fresh ginger, the juice of a lemon, the zest of a lemon, sugar, and then the usual players that we discussed before, the acid blend, all of those things. That's basically what's in this batch. And yeast, of course, all of them have yeast in them. And you can choose different types of yeast depending on what qualities you want in your wine. I typically use something that's called Red Star Premier Classique. It's my favorite yeast because it's across the board yeast. But if you want more fruitiness, you can try different yeast for that. Or you want a little bit more alcohol in it. You want something that ferments to like an 18 or 19%. There are yeasts that can hold up to that type of alcohol. Yeah,
So
I'm
the
trying to
yeast
do
is
it.
the alcohol. What's the alcohol?
The yeast is the microbe that goes in, that you put into your bread, your wine, anything that you need to rise.
Okay.
The rising is the fact that when yeast eat sugars, they give off two things: CO2 and alcohol.
Okay.
So all of our alcohol, any alcohol product that you have, including rubbing alcohol, all of it comes from yeast eating sugars.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this.
So when you say the 12% and the 14%, so is that saying how much yeast it has in it, or
No,
what
the
is
yeast,
it?
the poor little yeasties, after they do their job for us, they die off.
Oh,
So they're not here
my
with us any
God.
longer.
Sorry.
Yeah, you would see sediment at the bottom if there was actually yeast still here.
Oh,
The
okay.
fact that it's clear means that there's no more yeast.
Okay.
What was the question?
The alcohol level, like
The
how do you
alcohol by
manage-
volume.
Uh-huh.
So ABV is calculated by two ways. When I'm beginning the batch of wine,
Mhm.
I take a reading, a hydrometer reading. It looks like a huge thermometer,
Okay.
and I take off 250 milliliters of my substrate or my must, and I put it into the hydrometer, and I measure where it falls at. Once the yeast have eaten all the sugar, this is completely dry. So you guys are tasting sweetness because I back sweetened it.
Okay.
But it becomes completely dry. Then we look at that number. We take the beginning number, we subtract that number, and I think you multiply it by 0.35. I actually go to a online calculator at brewersfriend.com, and I do my calculations there.
Okay.
But the percentage tells you exactly how much alcohol is in it. So anything between 4 and 9% alcohol is beer.
Okay.
Anything at 10% to as high as 20 is wine. Once you get over 20%, you're actually dealing with something that's more like a spirit. And since it's illegal to distill your own spirits in the United States, I don't really talk about that on the channel.
Mhm.
But I like to stay in the range of 12% to about 16% with my wines. To me, those are enjoyable wines without getting that rush of alcohol.
Mhm.
Because a lot of alcohol doesn't actually make it a good wine.
Right.
It just makes it a very high alcohol wine. And that's not the purpose of wine. Wine is to be sipped and enjoyed and to complement your food, your desserts, or to celebrate something. It's not just to get hit with a lot of alcohol.
Okay.
So we've tried both of our whites. We still have one more white, and that's carrot cake. And carrot cake I'm nervous about because it was like my mad scientist experiment. So you guys can tell me what you think about that.
And I like carrot cake too.
We have Cynthia. She
Thank
says,
you.
"Love your wine, Philly girl, especially your personalized bottles. Thank you."
Oh, thank you. So something that I do is if I know someone's getting married. So
Mhm.
I have a cousin getting married this Saturday. So I made a 5-gallon batch of wine for her.
Okay.
Or there's a nail salon. My nail stylist is opening a new salon, so I did the same thing. I made wine for her, and I create new labels, and it's fun. Like it's a great way to give a gift. Once you know how to make wine at home,
Mhm.
it's a really fun way to kind of share your love. There you go, guys, and as much as you want. Now, what's in carrot cake wine is grated carrots, fresh pineapple, cinnamon, cloves, star anise, and then of course the regular sugar, yeast, and the usual players.
You said what's in here again? I'm sorry.
It's ginger, carrot, pineapple, cloves, and star anise. So spice wines are kind of tricky Because this is a new one, it may come off as a little harsh. So I'm gonna let you know in advance. But you might like it. You might be okay with it. But this is actually one that I should be letting sit for over a year before it's really good.
Okay.
So same thing. We're gonna stir it, let it swirl in our glass, and then when we stop, if we see it come down slowly, it has some body. But also when we go to taste it, we'll know if it has body. And then we smell it.
It's coming down real slow.
It's a familiar
Ginger,
smell.
Smell like
Mm.
fall.
Like,
Yeah, it's like
Like
it's
what?
Smell like
Smell
fall.
like fall.
And that was my idea. My idea was like carrot cake. Actually, I was thinking of spring because carrot cake comes out in the spring, but I think the spice gave it a wintry
Mhm.
fall kind of
Okay.
taste to it. And then you can taste it. Now, should I call it something else? Like, it doesn't taste anything like carrot cake.
Not like a carrot cake.
No, like
No.
a spice though.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
a spice.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Okay, this is totally off track. How do everyone else like it? I'll let y'all say how y'all like it first.
I like it, but it don't give me carrot cake. It
Wow.
gives me something of like a spice.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure it out.
spice rum or spice apple.
Hmm.
Like,
Oh, okay.
Or orangey.
yes.
Orange.
Orange spice. That's nice.
Yeah, like an orange.
It
Ginger,
reminds
definitely
me
smell
of an
it.
air freshener.
Yes.
Does it? Something
Oh,
that-
It
no,
smell like the
this-
house.
Yeah,
No,
it reminds
something
me
that
of
you
an
want
air
your house to
freshener.
smell like.
Yeah,
What's it smell like? The Mama and Papa had them. Like they were in the house.
yeah,
Like
The
those.
plugins.
yeah.
No, not the plugins. Probably
But the-
the basket. and they put
Yeah,
it-
like
yeah.
the potpourri and
Yeah,
stuff.
but-
Yeah,
but a
that's
good
what
smell.
I
Well, that makes a lot of sense because star anise and clover are very, very fragrant. Cinnamon is too, but those two are extremely fragrant.
Okay.
Do you taste acid?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
taste acid?
Definitely.
with
Yeah.
it?
That tingling spice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it tickle my,
Back your throat.
yeah, I'm gonna say tickle my throat.
And what about the tannin in the back of the mouth feel? Are you getting
I
any
didn't
tannin?
get it.
I didn't
Very
get
low.
that. Yeah, that's very low.
No, but I still got the
I
tickle part in
definitely
my
get
throat.
the
Yeah.
spice because it has like a little burn on my
Mhm.
tongue.
And it's actually hotter than the ginger. And ginger
Yeah.
makes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
The
It is
ginger
good.
was really good to me.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna be so tipsy when I leave here.
Lord, today.
So we finished all of our white wines. And of course, white is just the color and the clarity of it. The next one is going to be I think I'm going to do the raspberry lime melomel first before we do the red apple hibiscus. Just because I know these two are a lot stronger.
Oh,
So,
I'm excited for these.
and if you
Yes.
look at this one, you notice it's not completely clear.
Mhm.
It still has some clearing to do. I bottled it for the show, but at home, the rest of it's going to age until it's completely translucent like these are.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, it does.
And this one was made with honey, raspberries,
Oh, you said berries.
Yeah.
lime juice. I got it from our supermarket, Wegmans. They have fresh pressed fruit. So instead of
Oh,
pressing the juice
mhm.
myself, I bought it from Wegmans. But it has raspberry, lime juice, a little apple juice in it, and there's no spices. I believe I put a peel of a lemon. Oh no, I didn't because it's lime juice, so there's no lemon in it at all. So we want to do the same thing when everybody has a
That
glass.
smells good.
There you go.
You're finding apricot.
mhm.
Mm,
Isn't that amazing though? You can start off with one thing and
it smells different.
yeah.
It does.
Mhm.
So it's
Oh, I
really
like the
fragrant.
smell.
It's really
Yeah.
fragrant. So fortunately, this one picked up a lot of the fruit smells. That's there.
Very summery.
Oh, this is delicious.
Oh, this is.
Yeah,
I like
this
it. It
is
was nice
delicious.
and cold.
Yeah.
It'd be better.
Yes.
If it was nice and cold.
This
it'd
is
be-
Yeah.
like dangerous.
This is
Because you
summer.
can keep drinking.
Yeah,
This is summertime.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the summertime.
And it does have 12% alcohol in it, so you have to be careful.
I don't even
That's
taste
not
it.
bad.
You don't taste the alcohol?
Mm-mm.
It's there.
That is subtle. It's gonna creep up on you.
This you drinking
Um,
at sunset because the way the color.
I like the colors too.
Yes.
I like
Me
the
too.
color.
drinking
Yeah.
when the sun going down.
And I thought it would be more red because it was raspberry, but I think the lime kind of set
Yeah.
up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as the acid, do you find acid in this one?
A little.
Not as
Not
much.
as much,
Yeah.
the deeper color we get with our wines, the less acid we experience when we're sipping our wines. But do you experience tannin? Are you getting that little cloyingly sweet thing in the back end?
Nope,
No.
you don't get that.
Okay. All right, but does it taste like a balanced wine?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
I promise you this will be amazing next year. You'll be able to smell a lot more of, as long as it's kept away from air. Air is the killer of your wine.
Right.
But it will develop more of the smell, it'll
Oh, that's
develop more
really
of the flavor.
delicious. It tastes like juice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what get you in trouble.
Yup.
Yeah.
It'll sleep right up on y'all. See.
How's everybody feeling?
Good.
We've been drinking a lot of wine.
I feel fine.
Yeah, I feel good.
For the non-drinker of the group, I feel fine.
This kind of really good.
This, yeah.
So far this is the winner.
This for me.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was.
Okay.
With the
This
raspberry.
been the first one.
The what did we try first?
The lemon.
Yeah.
drop.
Oh, lemon. We
those
tried
are
lemon
good.
first. Okay.
Cynthia
Neck
says
and
she wants to order 5 different bottles from
She
you.
has it. She can have it.
Yeah, this is very interesting, and it's the different tastes of each one. They're distinct. Like one doesn't taste like the other,
Right.
so
Right.
you can tell the different mixtures that you've created and what you've put in it. Like it really has a distinct taste.
Yeah. And if you try the hobby at home, you're gonna find out that you start excelling at one or two particular wines. Like there's gonna be wines where you're just like the pro at it and nobody else can touch your recipe. Both I and my nephew, his name is Soup, and he does have a YouTube channel, but it's kind of on hiatus right now. He makes a wine and he just calls it Unc's Red Wine, but it's a multi-berry wine. I think it's blueberry, strawberry, and raspberry in his wine.
Nice.
When I make the exact same wine, mine tastes nothing like his.
Wow.
So your signature is in the way that you ferment. You can
Okay.
actually create a wine that's just yours. I'm gonna finish mine because I thought
All right.
Brenda says she's loving your wine tasting. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
This
Linda.
is awesome, isn't it? Oh my gosh.
the next thing we're gonna try is the red apple hibiscus. This is a wine I've been making for a very long time. It's apple wine that I add hibiscus flowers to, or sorrel, Jamaican sorrel.
Mm-hmm.
And in this particular batch, I also aged it with oak. So you're going to experience another.
Understand that.
We got a spy on the inside, the
I
phone.
tell you. So it's going to have some other qualities that you didn't notice in these wines, which is kind of well. I'll let you try it and you tell me what you get from it.
Thank you. Color.
Thank you. I'm gonna pour a little enough past the bottle.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah.
What's the name of it again?
This is red apple hibiscus.
Okay.
Oh, this comes on.
So the apple juice, this is actually made with frozen concentrated apple juice.
Mm.
Anything that has sugar, you can make wine out of. As long as it doesn't have any type of preservatives, any sorbates in it, you can make wine with it. So if you want to start off making wine and you don't want to spend a lot of money, buy some Welch's grape juice, which is 100% juice,
Mhm.
and take some bread yeast and put it in there, and you'll make wine.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is the red apple hibiscus, and we're going to do the same thing. Do we see rivulets?
Yes.
And probably a little
It
bit
looks-
more
I
than
was
the
going to
other
say,
ones.
and
Right.
it's
More
taking
thick.
longer to
Yeah.
go down.
Which
Very
means this
thick.
has a little bit more body than the other ones had,
Okay.
Okay.
which is typical when you start with a red wine or when wines start getting darker. You smell the apple?
I
Mhm.
was gonna say that and that. What's that star fruit said? Or the
Hibiscus.
ginger? No. It was a spice.
Oh, star anise.
Yes.
And it
that's what
doesn't have
smells like.
any in it,
Yeah.
That's what it smells
but it
like.
has oak in it, and that might be where you're getting it from.
Gotcha.
It went in my nose.
Did it?
Like, I better go down and up my nose.
See, that would have made great TV.
And then taste it.
Oh,
This one tastes a little bit more
Nice and light.
stronger.
this is for sure strong.
But
Yeah.
it's still light.
Is it really?
It's
It's-
thick to me.
Yes.
It's thick. Is that what y'all
I
are
feel
referencing?
That's body.
Okay.
But it's strong. It is stronger. It has more alcohol in it. And if a person was a Hennessy drinker or some type of, this would appeal to you because it has those qualities. It kind of tastes like Hennessy mixed with juice.
Oh yeah. Cranberry.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Mhm.
Let me
It
see.
does have that color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this more of a dry?
It's only kind of dry because I didn't add a lot of sugar to it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Because I remember him saying that when I went to the other tasting, it had he said it's dry because it kind of you could feel the heat in your mouth or
Mhm.
something in your mouth.
It's
So I
kind of
feel
burning your taste buds a little bit.
Right.
So all of them would have tasted that way if I hadn't back sweetened them. I
Okay.
didn't heavily back sweeten this because I wanted you to experience the tannins in it. Do you taste the tannins with this one? Yeah, so the
This is
tannins in
good,
this
though.
one come from the tannin I added at the time of creating the batch, as well as it soaking on oak chips for several months. So that also gave it that feeling that you're feeling in your mouth. And this is one of those wines that'll get you hot. You feel you start to
Yes.
feel
Oh,
this.
Warm,
yes.
yes.
I thought you said hi.
Yes.
I was like, what? I thought she said. I think.
No, all of them will do
I
that.
was like, what?
Woo, yeah, that one kind of hit me.
Yeah. This
And
is definitely a
slow.
happy one.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
This is like for date night.
This would be great with red meat. So if you're having a steak dinner,
Yeah.
That's what I said. It's like a date
Yeah.
night. Yeah.
if you're eating like ribs, barbecue, something like that, that would be great because it would cut the fat of your meat. So we have one more,
Surprisingly, this isn't as sweet as the others, right?
but it's just because I didn't add as much sugar.
Right,
Mhm.
but I'm more of a sweet taste,
And you like
Me
it?
too.
and I like it.
You do? You
Yeah,
like it?
Right,
Awesome.
I like it.
Reminds you of fall too.
It does. Yeah.
Shelly's here. She said, "Love this. This is a great information. Great information."
I want everybody making wine at home, even if you just have one batch of wine that you can show off when your company comes.
Oh no, that might not be a good
I
idea.
know, right?
Ain't gonna make it for
Lord.
company.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some wine. It's been a rough day.
Right.
But the funny thing is right now I have in the U.S. you're allowed to make at least 200 gallons of wine in your home, and it's still legal.
Hmm.
They don't know that.
Yeah, so you can kind of make a batch every 2 weeks and it not be a problem. A 5-gallon batch. These all have been made on 1-gallon batches on the show, but I
Mhm.
do make 5-gallon. And since we're taking some wine down to South Carolina with us, I have 60 gallons of wine at home right now waiting to go.
Okay.
Wow.
Nice.
So the last one that we're going to drink is chocolate cherry. And this was an experiment. I tried this on Valentine's Day for my show just to see. Look at the color. Watch this.
I feel like that's gonna give me like it's,
Wow.
Dark.
it's like it's
velvety
giving me
red.
Yeah.
that candy with the chocolate, with the cherry inside.
Yes,
Mhm.
That's what
exactly.
it's giving
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
I didn't use tart cherries because I didn't want to take away from the chocolate. This is
So
actually
you
made
guys
with.
can see.
It's so dark, right?
It is.
Oops.
You can barely see through it.
And,
And this was made from Hershey's chocolate because, of course, I'm from Philly, so I'm going to use Hershey's chocolate. But you could use any type of powdered cocoa. You can use Godiva, Ghirardelli, anything that you want. Just something that's a good quality cocoa powder. And it was made with dark red cherries. What I also did with this wine was after it finished fermenting, what's called racking off. You take the sediment from the bottom and you just take all the wine off of it. I racked it and then I aged it with another batch of red cherries. So it's been soaking in red cherries for several months now.
So how long does it have to sit or
Well,
age or?
You have wine in about 3 months. You have actually wine in about 2 weeks, but it's going to be very, very harsh when you drink it. In about 3 months, you can drink it. In about 6 months, it's a decent wine. In about 1 year, you have a great wine. You have a wine that you'd want to sit on your table and present. And if you let it age for 10 years, wine can continue to age forever. It never stops developing qualities to it. And as a matter of fact, some wine bottles were unearthed recently from the 1800s.
Wow.
And when the archaeologists tasted them, they were amazing. So you can continue to age your wine for as long as you want to. Some families actually pass down, they buy expensive wines and then they pass it down to their family. They have no intentions on drinking it because it has a cash value. The same way you collect art, you can also collect wines.
Oh, I want parts of that.
Yeah, I'm like Cynthia. She says she'll leave the winemaking to Philly girl, and I agree because I would jack it up too. I mean,
No, you won't. You're actually you're going to make mistakes, and that's what's fun about this. It's just fruit, so it's not the end of the world.
This is true. This is
You
true.
know, but you're going to make mistakes in the beginning. Some things that you do are not going to be amazing, but as long as you persevere and make another batch, you're going to find each time you make a new batch, it gets better and better and better, and it has more and more of your personality in it,
Mm.
which is what's really exciting about making your own wine.
Yeah.
Did
So
we
I
get to
would
taste
very-
it yet?
No,
Oh,
we
I
got
did.
information.
Oh, I
I was
did.
smelling it.
I smelled the
Okay.
couple. I
I
can't.
smelled it.
It's good.
So when you
I
smell
love
it, what do you
it.
smell?
I can't
It
get
smelled
it.
like
Caramel.
Merlot.
Oh yes,
It smelled like a caramel.
You
to
smell
me, like,
caramel?
Yes.
Yeah.
it smelled like a tart.
I smell.
See, wait till you taste it. It's really
Mhm.
good.
Let me see.
Almost like a Merlot.
That's thick.
Yeah.
That's thick.
Yeah. So as
It
far as
wasn't- it
body,
wasn't thick for me.
But I enjoy that.
Yeah, so do
I
I.
enjoy it.
It was nice to me. It was nice and light. It wasn't
Yeah,
as
and
thick
a
as the
really
color came off.
I
Right.
taste chocolate.
And
I do
it
taste the
was
chocolate.
Taste the chocolate.
I taste the chocolate.
Very smooth.
Yes,
It's-
It is
yeah.
smooth, very
Definitely
smooth.
a
And I don't
steak
get the
wine.
strong acidic taste
Right.
like
Yeah,
I
you
did with
don't get
everything
that.
else. And that's something that I like. Like, what's the wine I like? What was it called?
Something double.
Not that. My basic
Moscato.
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 Okay.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love Moscato.
That doesn't
Oh,
have that strong acidic taste, and that's what I would normally go for.
right.
So, like something like this, this is what I would enjoy
Yeah.
because I don't like that strong. I don't like the acidic at all. I don't like that kick. I want things to be smooth.
Smooth, yes, light.
Now this like the red
is
apple
good.
hibiscus
This is
could
good.
really be enjoyed with meat.
I was going to
That's what I just said.
Yes.
You just said a good steak.
Yes.
Yeah,
This would
yeah,
go
yeah.
really well with meat.
And it
The
look like, you
nice
know how like the
porterhouse.
medium rare when they cut it into it?
Yeah.
It gives that.
Yeah. Now, do you taste the tannins? Is it giving you that back of the mouth feel?
Nothing.
I don't
Very light.
Lightly?
Not
Mhm.
much, yes. Just like the beginning of the back end.
How does it
Right
taste to
beginning.
you? Professional.
Actually, I'm not. I'm a hobbyist.
Oh,
So,
well,
I'm
you're a
just-
So
hobbyist.
this
is
can
a
be a
hobby.
hobby?
This is my hobby. This started
Oh.
off as my hobby.
Oh, I'm for hobbies.
Yeah, this is a hobby.
I'm
Making
for
wine is a
crafts.
hobby.
I am.
It's really a craft because with crafts, it's like you add your own little personality, your own little self to it. That's how it is with wine. Like you can go through the grocery aisles, you can go to the produce store, and you can see. I just did a mango wine. I did a papaya wine. You'll see different things, and like, I wonder what kind of wine that would be.
Okay.
My cousin Amber Johnson, I had asked for some suggestions for the channel, and she said, "Can you make me a melon wine?" So that's clearing right now, and it's actually really, really good. So I made it with watermelon, honeydew, and cantaloupe. You know, like the
Wow.
breakfast trio. You go to
That
any brunch,
tastes real
yeah,
good.
and it
Yeah.
smells like breakfast. It smells like going to brunch.
Mm.
It has amazing, amazing smell to it.
Wow.
Well, maybe I need to learn this.
So go to Philly Girl Handcrafted at YouTube. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and where else am I?
See,
TikTok.
You've been
TikTok and Twitter. And just make comments if you want some suggestions on things to try, if you want to know what equipment to buy. In the comment section, description section of all of my episodes, I list everything that you can buy to make your own wine. You can
Wow.
click on it and purchase it right then and there.
That's cool.
But
Wow.
it is a fun hobby, and it's something that you can also pass down. I mean, you can teach children how to make it. They just can't be involved once it has fermented into wine. But in the
Oh, okay.
process of creating the wine, my granddaughter has helped me mix fruit and add sugar and things like that. It's a
Okay.
recipe. They just
Mhm.
can't touch it once it's actual.
Right.
Once the
Right.
bees have gotten busy, then we have to keep children out of it. But this is a skill you can pass down to your family.
Once they get older, they can do it themselves.
They can do it themselves. Absolutely. Now,
So can you
now-
create one and then like patent it with your name because it's yours and your ingredients?
You
and stuff
can, but it has to definitely have something that nobody else's wine has in
like
it,
that? Okay.
just because it's so easy to get fruits to make wine. When it comes to grape wines, when you hear names like Champagne is from the Champagne region of France, and that's why it's
Right.
called Champagne. They use Champagne grapes. Chardonnay are Chardonnay grapes from a certain Chardonnay region in
Okay.
France.
Right.
So that's where we're getting those names. When we say Shiraz, that comes from a specific grape that comes out of Australia. Now we grow all of those in the U.S. All of the major grape wine varieties are grown here just because we have such fertile land and such a huge country. And we have so many wine countries. Virginia is a major wine country. California has Tuscan style wines there.
I want one so bad. Too.
Yeah.
What they use.
But even upstate Pennsylvania and in New Jersey, Chemung has a balance.
That's where we
That's where
were.
we went.
That's
Yeah.
where we were.
Yeah, we have great wineries in the United States, but we're copycats. All of those wines are copied from grapes from European wines.
Mm.
Yeah.
I would
But
love
really-
to go overseas. to
Yeah, I
really-
would love that.
to
Yeah.
drink it there.
For your own winemaking, consider what you like about a grape wine and apply that to a fruit wine. So if you like Rieslings, well, that's a very, very light wine. So maybe try making a grapefruit wine or making just a light apple wine or something like that to try to get those qualities. But you really can kind of create anything that you want when making wine.
Mm.
I like all wines. I do.
This was very good. I love it. It was a great experience just tasting the different kinds and learning about each one. It was really a great, great experience.
Yes.
And I would have to say the chocolate
Chocolate cherry is your
is
favorite.
my favorite.
My
My
Yeah.
favorite is the what's that one right here?
The red apple hibiscus.
No, the one next to the
Ginger?
carrot cake. I like that.
The raspberry,
That was
Mellow
good
Mel.
too. Yeah.
And this
At the end.
the ginger one.
all of them.
Ginger. Yeah, we have ginger here. So you like ginger?
Yeah, and that
I
lemon
like
drop.
ginger too.
And the lemon?
Oh, I can call it
Yes.
lemon drop.
See?
That's alcohol.
Because when you make it, it's going to be called lemon drop. So that's okay. That's absolutely fine.
That's good.
Yeah, everyone's
Not too
so saying awesome.
Which one is your favorite? Or which wine that you make is your favorite one?
That's hard.
Okay.
How many do you make though? Like, what's all your flavor? Like, how many flavors do you have?
Initially, I had about 8 different varieties that I made, but once I decided I was going to have a channel, I've made 25 different wines, and some of them I've just made up.
Okay.
There's other YouTubers that I watch. One of the ones that I really watched was DIY Fermentation on YouTube. Happy Homestead. He is over in Ireland, I believe, is where he
Mhm.
lives. Another show that I watch all the time is City Stead Brewers. It's a husband and wife that live in Florida, and they make wines and beers and all kinds of things. So it's really hard to say what your favorite is because there's so many options.
Mm.
I could kind of sit down and take a little bit of all of these all night long and have a good time,
Or what's not your favorite then? Like,
So I made a white grapefruit white grapefruit wine that I don't like at all.
okay.
I have made some wines that will never see the light of day.
But you say that, but somebody else might like it.
Somebody else might like it, but
Right.
if it doesn't pass my palate, I'm not going to store it in my house because
Okay.
Mm.
storing wine does take up space. I made a custom wine for my granddaughter when she was born. Her name is Japanese. It's Kinsugoroi.
Oh, it's so
Mm.
cute.
Yeah,
Say it again.
Kinsugoroi.
What's her nickname? Because I want to get that.
It means there's an art form in Japan where they take pottery and they break it, then they mend it back with gold. And the lesson is that your scars actually make you more beautiful. The things that you go through.
Oh wow.
Wow, that's
So
good.
when my daughter was going to have her baby shower, they planned the baby shower. She said they're going to have a purple shower,
Purple.
and I know I wanted to make a purple wine, but I had no idea what I would want to make because grape wine doesn't really come out purple; it's very
Mhm.
dark. So I started researching things, and I found out that butterfly pea flower makes a very beautiful purple wine. So my lemon butterfly pea flower wine is my Kinsugoroi wine. That's what I just call it. It's my Kinsugoroi wine.
Mm. Okay. The a question is, where do you store your wines?
Anywhere you can, in closets, under tables. I have in my wine room, I have shelves.
Mhm.
So anywhere that you possibly can. If you have a basement, basements are actually excellent because they're wine cellars. Basements are wine cellars. So if you stored your wine in the basement for years, you end up picking up something that you forgot about 5-10 years ago and having it for dinner. And, it's a great experience.
Mm. So the older the wine, the better it tastes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
it takes on characteristics. It's like us girls. When we're young, we're bright and bubbly and enthusiastic and cute. But as we get older, we develop some qualities that we didn't have as young girls. Well, wine is the same way. It
Mm.
develops and it grows.
Okay.
So when can we come to your house for dinner? I'm just saying.
And this time we don't have to bring the wine.
Right, you got it. I'll bring a dessert.
I was going to say the
I'll
same
bring a
thing. I'll
dessert.
bring a dessert.
I was actually considering having some. My best friend has a venue. Her and her daughter, her daughter's significant other, they have a venue. I was thinking about having an event there that was just a wine tasting event, and it could be a potluck. Everybody brings something to eat, that kind of thing, or like meeting at some of these really nice BYOB restaurants that are in our city and that are in South Jersey, just to kind of bring some business to these places that need some attention. There's a lot of really great restaurants in the Philadelphia area, and just bring in some wine and we have a good time.
Wow, that's great.
That sounds amazing.
You gotta let me know when you're going to do it, because
Like
I can
I said,
tell you,
right
this girl's
along.
gonna be right there. We're going to join you and support you and do some tasting with you. So, because this was awesome.
Very
And I think it was Cynthia who said she needed that chocolate
You need the chocolate.
and the lemon drop.
I
got the chocolate.
Good.
That is, I was surprised that it tastes so good. And even though you said it had a higher alcohol content and more body, it didn't affect me as the lighter ones,
Right.
which is interesting.
Maybe you like darker.
Yeah, I think I do.
I think
I
you
know,
do.
apparently.
I think you do.
So this was interesting. I want you to still share again. I know you said it earlier, but tell the people how they can connect with you, how they can follow you and learn how to make their own wines.
I'm Philly Girl Handcrafted on YouTube. You can also reach out to me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And comment on my channel. The most important thing that shows me that you're watching, I get all these viewers on my channel, but no one says anything. Like, tell me that you're trying it and that you are not sure what you're doing, or that you need some advice, or that you made some really great wine and you're proud of yourself. Put some comments down there, make it a community.
Okay. And you also have another business.
Yes, I do. My second business, I'm a travel agent.
Hey.
I'm the owner of Trinity Travel, and I'm going to be taking all these goodies down to Bennettsville, South Carolina for Arthur Fennell's Country Style Cook-Off. We're taking a busload of folks on June 16th through the 18th. So feel free to reach out to me at TrenityTravel.com. That's TRENABI travel.com. Those are my two children's names, Trenton and Navis.
Okay.
And they made my business. But it's a great, they're having 40 grill masters from around the country that competed for first place as a grill master. And we are fortunate enough to have grill masters in Philadelphia who are going to be going down there. They were chosen to compete. So we're going to be taking some wine down and saying rah, rah, rah to our guys down in Bennettsville, South Carolina.
Oh,
If you're
wow.
interested, you can actually book on the website.
Oh, awesome. So if you guys are looking for a good trip in June, that might be the one. That might be the one. And if I can say one thing, the wine tasting as it is going to be worth the trip. I'm just going to let you know it's worth the trip. So go to our website, y'all, and go to her Facebook page, go to her YouTube page, and get some tips. These are some great wines that I would have never even thought of, that this could be a hobby of creating my own wines. Who would have thought it? So thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is Let's Just Talk with Kim. Of course, as you know, I'm always Kim. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that share. Make sure you turn on your alerts. Make sure you tell the peoples about what's going on the shows every Monday night at 7 p.m. Don't forget. I got to hit the broadcast button, because we're going to keep on. Bye.